Hello and welcome, I'm Smeagol1999. Right, I've been away for about a week, I've had some life stuff to take care of, things came up, that sort of thing. I missed my video on Monday, sorry for that if you're watching this. But in that time there's been some news for World of Tanks, the perfecting preferential premiums thing by Wargaming, talking about the KV5. So I've watched DesGame's video, MikeGFL, and Quickie Baby's video like 20 minutes ago, and he pointed something out that I completely overlooked. And I believe that I see things from a slightly different perspective to them, or at least that I can point out something that I don't think they've realised. Now, the reason why I'm titling this Time to Come Clean is this Christmas, for the Christmas loot boxes, well, to give you some context, so I'd built up a bunch of money over the summer, and I decided that I was going to treat myself to a Nintendo Switch. That didn't happen. These loot boxes came out, and I found out I could get a Type 59, which would, as you can see, complete my collection. I also have the 59 pattern for Chinese mediums, and the 121 is my favourite tier 10, and as such, like, you know, it was a perfect addition to my garage. I really, really wanted it. And I spent the money that I'd got for the Nintendo Switch, around about £500, on getting myself a Type 59. I don't regret this. As you can see, I have 200 days of premium left. I have a little bit of gold left, not much, but from that I got to buy myself like an absolute ton of premiums, basically everything I want in the entire game. I'm happy now. Well, I got Type 62 a week or so ago, and I've literally completed my collection now. I'm very happy with this. I love this game. It is genuinely one of my favourites, but... So what I want to talk about now... Obviously I have this Type 59, and if they're going to remove preferential matchmaking from it, that's fine, as long as they buff it and fix it, and keep it with the same playstyle as it has now, and it stays fun for me. As long as I can, like, still go brawling with people, and use my armor effectively, that sort of thing, as long as I can enjoy the tank still, I'm happy. Now, the difference from 510 matchmaking to 357 isn't that much, it's just there's 3 less tier 8s and 3 more tier 10s. Compared to what I'm used to seeing in this now. Which isn't that big of a problem, really. Like, I just don't fight the tier 10s, it's not difficult, like, that's what I do in all my other tier 8s. However, unless it's like something where I have to, like, find a 140 in this thing, I stand no chance. Buff the DPM, give me maybe a bit more armor to compete with, like, a 54 mod 1. Just stuff like that, just change it a little bit. I already play this thing regularly with Ben, who plays in his T54 mod 1, which isn't preferential. And even with this in its unbuffed state, I do fine, because I just don't fight the tier 10s, it's not difficult. Generally that's why we do like a lot of running away, but that's not the point. Now, yeah, I just want to like exercise my concern here, because if they make this tank so that I don't enjoy it anymore, I'm going to be extremely frustrated, and I don't quite know how I'm going to take it, considering it's one of my biggest purchases ever. You know, I'm 19, I spent the summer working, that was my first time getting a job, like, you know what I mean, it's a hell of a lot of money. So the T-34-3, as you, basically, the next thing I want to cover is the amount of preferential tanks I have in my garage. And as you can see, there's my T-34-3, which is a tank this was the first premium tank I ever bought, along with the 59 pattern. I bought both of them at the same time, with that same money I gained over the summer. And, yeah, I love this tank. Don't play it so much anymore because it's become rather underpowered and isn't great at fighting. But I'm starting to get back into it and starting to enjoy it again. I don't know, I guess I'll give you a verdict like a month from now after I've played it more and got used to it again. So from that I also have the, I can check it now. I have the 112 and the 111. Purely because I bought the 112 and that is one of my favourite tanks. This is because I need to get the 113 since I made the credits, and that's my current, like, one of my favourite tanks from what I played in the test server. 5A, it's Clan Wars competitive, not particularly my favourite, but whatever, I like it. I'll grab that as well. I'm going to be picking them two up as my next 2 tier 10s. The 111 I don't really like that much. I hate the pike nose and can't deal with the armour, but I've still played quite a bit in it. I've just over 100 battles in it, and yeah, I've got my 2 crew trainers now, the 111, the 112, for my Chinese heavies, sorry. Up next now, the thing that I think they've all overlooked is the lower tiers. Consider, if they're fixing them, the Tog's going to have to be buffed. The Panzer B2 and the Valentine 2, I've never played this thing by the way, I unlocked it on missions and then just put it away. And there's an absolute ton more, like, I think there's probably a bunch at tier 3 as well. Like, the point that I'm making is there's an absolute ton of tanks in the game that have this preferential matchmaking, and I know a lot of people that have some of these lower tier tanks as some of their favourites, and as such, I think that's like, that's going to ruin a lot of tanks for a lot of people if they do this even slightly wrong. And I just think that's something they've overlooked, and a perspective that should be seen, you know, just the lower tiers. Okay, so I'm currently editing together my video for this one, and I just thought I'd get a big list up of all of the tanks that are actually preferential in the game. Now, this is of 2017, so not perfect. As you can see, some of it's off, but like, you can just see here the vast amount of tanks that are going to actually be affected by this. There's a ton. There's possibly even some missing from this. I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, it's quite an old one, but either way, like, you can see the ridiculous amount of tanks that are going to be affected by this, and yeah, you know, like, a lot of these tanks are people's favourites. Like, the amount of people I know who love, like, the M3 Light, the combat car and the T2 even, like, the T2 is Bazzy's favourite tank, I think. The Valentine 2, the Panzer B2, that's some people's favourite tank as well. I know quite a few that absolutely love it. Tons of people. I really like Churchill 3, I didn't even know it was pref. Like, yeah, the Matilda Black Prince is pref. That's one of my favourite tanks. It feels weird saying that. The Tog 2, yeah, I knew about that. Like, E25, that's one of Toad's favourite tanks. Like, all of these here, like the 112, the Type 59, the 34-3, there are 3 of my favourite tanks right there. Like, the FCM50T, I love the concept of it, I just wasn't willing to spend the money because it wouldn't be very much use to me, but I kind of want to get a hold of one. The Panzer 2J even, like, that thing's already insane enough. Like, how'd you make it fight tier 5s? You buff its pen? Oh great, that's going to be real balance, isn't it, wargaming? I really don't know how to take this, but, like, thanks for watching, guys. Okay, so as you know from the last part, I'm currently editing that video, and I realised there's something else I could do that's quite constructive to this, which is showing off the money I've spent in this game and checking it out for myself. So this is the spreadsheet, because of course I love them. On the right, here's the tanks I bought, which I haven't actually included in the spreadsheet, but this just shows off basically like every purchase I've ever made. So my first time throwing money at World of Tanks now. Bear in mind, these numbers are not perfect, nowhere near. I spend my money very carefully with this game, and I only buy like the bundles to get extra stuff, and basically work on efficiency because I don't want to spend all that much on it. Well, that's a joke or whatever, you know. Look, if you look at the amount I have spent. So, regarding like my first set of purchases, they come to like £68 worth. I think I spent about 45 at the time. So either way, like, even if I did spend that amount, like, I've got good worth. Like, I didn't really know how to quantify the amount that I've spent other than giving a number and like the amount of time I've spent playing in hours divided by like the price. Well, the other way around. So regarding, this is everything I got from them Christmas loot boxes. So the Lerva, the Scorpion G, the Lorraine 40T, the CDC, the Revelarize, the 4202, the S1, the VK, 4503, the AC4 Experimental, Skoda T40, Churchill 3, Matilda Black Prince, Panzer B2, T28E with F30, Sentinel, Panzer 215 and Type 59. Which come to about 304 in worth, but I know for a fact I spent about 500 now. A good chunk of that went to doing random shit with gold that was quite dumb, like buying the Black Widow camo for my S1 and throwing around the crews and stuff. Like, I spent it stupidly because I'd never had that amount of gold and I presumed it would last forever. And on top of that, there was, I bought like a year of premium, or I think it was like 180 days to go on top of what I already had to make it a year. So I know where that other like £200 has gone, but even looking at this, like, I'm not regretting that amount I spent because I've still got good value for my money and I'm still playing the game now and I intend to play it a hell of a lot more in the future. So, like, I'm happy with this purchase, but I just wanted to highlight this, I don't know, more for my own peace of mind than anything, and show off to you guys how much of a whale I am, I guess. And just say, like, I just need to emphasise, if they do screw up this Type 59, I am going to be, like, absolutely distraught. Because I have no clue how I'll handle it, get them, you know, I've even got the Christmas camo on it. Oh, that reminds me of the IS-6 in the background. I've actually bought 2 of these for my friends. Bought one for Ben, and I bought one for Jackson. So bought a 4202 for Aiden, and that's all the things, money that I've spent on other people other than, I don't know, gambling with Jackson, which wasn't very good, whatever. Like, that's another preferential tank that if they screw it up, I know for a fact 2 of my friends that enjoy the tank and very much like it are not going to be so happy. I feel like this is like the perfect definition of playing with fire. And once again, guys, thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for watching. Either way, thanks for watching, guys. I'm quite troubled by this, because, yeah, whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.